Become your true self. Let go of who you pretend to be. You ever stop mid-conversation and realize you're performing? You laugh at what doesn't amuse you. You agree just to keep the peace. You smile even when something in you feels off. And underneath that politeness, something whispers, "This isn't me." Most people spend their lives chasing acceptance by pretending. Not because the world demands it, but because they've worn the mask so long, they've forgotten what's underneath. This video is about how to become your true self, to stop performing, stop hiding, and finally live as the person you were meant to be. We'll explore what authenticity truly means, why pretending feels safe but suffocating, and what psychology reveals about the deep freedom that comes when you finally let go of who you pretend to be. Most people think being yourself means doing whatever you want, but being authentic doesn't mean being messy. It means being true. Psychologists define the true self as the part of you that's grounded in values, not validation. It's the version that stays the same whether anyone's watching or not. Think of it like this. Your outer personality is a costume, habits, tone, reactions. But your true self is the body beneath. You can change outfits daily, but the form never changes. When your actions begin to match that inner shape, your principles, your real motives, you don't just look real, you feel whole. Abraham Maslow called this self-actualization, the moment when honesty replaces imitation. You stop copying, you stop performing, you start becoming, because you can't build peace on top of pretense. If everyone craves authenticity, why do we keep pretending? Because pretending works. At first, it keeps you safe, it earns approval, it buys belonging, until one day, the mask stops protecting you and starts suffocating you. Psychologists call this impression management, altering yourself to control how others see you. It isn't evil, sometimes it's survival, but the price is heavy. Research shows that people who constantly act against their true beliefs suffer higher stress and lower well-being. Pretending burns energy, emotional, mental, spiritual. Eventually, you become exhausted from managing your image instead of living your truth. You know that feeling, smiling through conversations that drain you, saying yes, even though everything inside you says no. That's not confidence, that's a quiet collapse. The longer you pretend, the less you remember who you were before the performance began. And that's how authenticity dies. Not through deceit, but through slow disconnection. Authenticity isn't a personality trait, it's a psychological alignment. A 2020 study identified 4 pillars of authentic living. First is consistency, which happens when your words and actions match. Second is conformity, where you adapt without losing yourself. Next is connection, where you feel linked to your true emotions. And finally, continuity, which means you remain the same person over time. When these 4 sync up, your brain rewards you. fMRI studies show that living authentically activates areas tied to self-regulation and reward, meaning it literally feels better to be real. People who live this way report higher life satisfaction, deeper relationships, and less anxiety. And here's the part people feel but can't explain. Once you align who you are inside with how you move through the world, people stop questioning you. They just trust you, because the energy of someone who's real doesn't shout, it just rings true. Before you can live honestly, you have to spot where you're faking it. And sometimes that performance is invisible, even to you. You tell people you're fine when you're falling apart. You laugh at jokes that sting. You keep relationships that drain you because rejection feels worse than loneliness. That's not being polite, that's emotional suppression, and it comes with a price. Studies show that repressing emotions raises stress, spikes your heart rate, and damages your ability to regulate feelings. When you fake it long enough, your body begins to carry the weight your words refuse to. Another warning sign, comparison. You measure your worth by others' lives, their success, their looks, their approval. That's not ambition, that's identity hunger. And the more you feed it, the hungrier you become. To become your true self, you have to stop chasing reflections and start building your own shape, because the real you isn't waiting for applause, just permission. Letting go of the mask isn't dramatic, it's gradual. A slow unlearning, a peeling away of false comfort until what's left finally feels like home again. Step 1 is awareness. Ask yourself, where do I feel fake? Write it down, don't censor. Awareness builds self-concept clarity, a proven predictor of emotional stability and confidence. Step 2 is values. Define what you'd stand for, even if nobody clapped. When your choices reflect your principles, authenticity becomes automatic. Step 3 is small alignments. You don't need a new life, just new honesty. Say no when you mean no. Tell the truth once a day. Decline what feels wrong in your gut. And finally, step 4 is boundaries. Authenticity needs walls. Protect what matters, your time, your energy, your calm. The moment you stop letting people overstep, you start teaching them how to meet the real you. Studies show that people who live authentically, even imperfectly, experience lower anxiety and higher resilience. Because the mask doesn't fall when you tear it off, it falls when you stop holding it up. When you finally start living authentically, the world doesn't instantly change. You do. Peace replaces pressure. You stop performing for every room. You start belonging in your own skin. Your relationships deepen because people can finally meet you, not your version of acceptable. Being genuine earns trust faster than charm ever will. And then comes purpose. You stop chasing meaning and start creating it. This is what psychologists call self-actualization, the stage where behavior and belief finally move in the same direction. Gallup's recent research found that employees who bring their authentic selves to work are more engaged, more innovative, and more fulfilled. Authenticity doesn't just feel good, it performs better. That's the paradox of truth. When you stop trying to be impressive, you become powerful. When you stop proving yourself, you find yourself. Because the truest confidence isn't loud, it's honest. You were never meant to live behind a filter. Every version you built to survive, the perfectionist, the people pleaser, the one who says, I'm fine, was protection, not identity. But protection, when worn too long, becomes a cage. So, when you're ready, take off the mask. Let silence feel awkward. Let truth sound raw. Let the real you breathe. And if the world doesn't recognize you at first, good. It means you finally do.